Hey, Sammy Bones here, and I'm going to show you how to take an amp out of a chassis, out of a combo amp. In this particular case, we have a bad cat amp, and with two 12s, I'm going to pull the chassis out, and I'll show you where to hold on to it and how to take it out. First take the screws out of the back, which I've already taken a few of the screws out just to make it a little faster here, and then just take the cover off, set it somewhere safely. There you go, and then for the back screws, I put one pile, and for the top screws, I put another pile. These are the screws that actually hold the chassis in. I just leave them on top of here, so I know where they're at. And before you start taking the chassis out, always pull the power out here. Make sure that your power is not affected. And when you're handling this, you want to make sure that you don't touch or bump any of these tubes here. If you touch them with your fingers, you have to clean them with alcohol so that your finger grease doesn't create a hot spot on the tube. So the best place to hold them is by the biggest transformer. Just get a good grip on that, and that'll be a good place to hold the chassis. And once you get half the screws out, you get a good grip on the transformer, and then take the rest of the screws out. But also make sure that there's the speaker's disconnected. Here's the speaker. You disconnect the speaker. You make sure if it's got any reverb connections, this is a reverb chamber. You disconnect that. And in the bad cats, they have lights, so you got to unplug the light cable, and then you just look up inside and make sure that it's free of any additional connectors or things holding in it. And it is. It's free. So now we're ready to take the last two screws out. So take the one that's closest to your hand off first. You take it off and then just set your drill down and pull the screw out. And I'm holding on it firmly with my left hand. Undo the other screw, still holding up firmly. Pull the screw out, and now I can grab it from the side here while I'm holding the chassis. My left hand has all the weight of the chassis, so then just grabbing the side of it here. In this particular amp, I can grab this transformer because it's heavy enough, but some of them don't have big transformers up here also, so I'm just going to grab it from the side and just carefully pull it out, like so, not touching the tubes or anything else. And then when you come to set it down, you can first set it on its side so you can examine it, best place to set it. Now, as long as there's a good way to set it where none of the tubes are going to get bumped when you set it on a flat surface, just go ahead and set it down on the transformers. If the tubes are sticking up higher than the transformers, then you want to keep it on its side or laying flat down like so. But in order to work on it, it's got to be flipped over. So you take it, you flip it over, and still not touching the tubes, and just set it down like that. Once you get it open, be careful not to touch any of these inside parts with your hand, because sometimes the capacitors will hold a charge, and unless you know what you're doing, you can really get zapped. So make sure that you take it apart. You don't touch anything in here unless you really know what's going on. Thanks.